And we are live. Welcome everyone to Quantum Wave episode 3. Today we're going to go deep into understand the architecture of parallel lives and alternate realities because these two are quite different, but not many people actually understand with precision this architecture of parallel lives and alternate realities, and not only understand the difference between them, but why does it matter to know about that, and how can we use the model of fractal dynamics to understand our connection to our parallel lives and alternate realities. And you can see now behind me, my little dog is digging into the bin bag that I left. She's very happy. He's gonna make, are you good, Joey? Look at this. You're gonna keep me company, Joey. Very good. Settle down. Usually he comes on my lap, but he's happy that I moved the beanbag there. As yesterday, I spent a lot of time at my altar. I was doing some burn ceremony and also anchoring higher reality to be able to quantum leap with ease and grace into the higher reality that I'm currently manifesting. Talking about quantum leaping, I would love to invite you to join my next free 3-day challenge that will be happening on the 28th, 29th, and 30th of August. So it is coming very soon. It will be happening every day at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. I would love to invite you to join because we're going to go deep into refining our understanding about quantum leaping through this challenge of let's go and grow, understanding 3 important dynamics that we must learn to master to be able to effortlessly create, leap, jump into a higher reality. You can find all the information on my website, sendreams.com, or also in the notes below that we will put after we go live, as well as on the replay. And if you're listening to this on my podcast, it will be as well present in the show notes. So thank you so much for joining this episode here live or on the replay. I would really love to receive your comments. Let me know how you receive what we are sharing. Remember to participate so you can go in the draw to win a mini reading channel session with me and my high council. And for that, remember, it's very easy. All that you need to do as you watch this episode is to take a photo of this episode and then post it on your Instagram and simply tag @Sandrines and say, oh, I'm loving this Quantum Wave show live with Sandrine. And you can also participate by sharing this episode on Facebook. And remember to tag me. You can tag my business page or my private page if we are friends on Facebook. That's also good. After you have done that, remember to comment under the video so we can also add that entry. At the end of the month, which is literally the next session, we will be doing a reading live on YouTube for one lucky winner of this this competition that we are doing, because I really love being able to help you and I want to keep it as interactive as possible. So I will be tuning into your field and giving you a reading live on YouTube, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. It's very deep, it's completely life changing to be able to receive channel messages from your soul and your star family. Also, remember to comment now in the chat if you're live with me, because it is making me very happy and it is even more interactive. So let me tune in a little bit here. As I'm recovering from a cold, I can really feel that I need more time to really drop in, and also because all of my pets are very active. There is the dog there, and there is my cat that wants to also come on my lap, but I should take the dog so he doesn't bark. And my cat will stay there. Emily. Let's take a moment together to simply close our eyes and start drawing our awareness in our breath. You might like to place one hand or two hands on your heart center to encourage your being to really breathe from the heart. And as you breathe from your heart, allow the volume of the mind to be toned down to the minimum. Your head space to relax and become heavy, your shoulders to soften, your whole body to relax. And take a deep breath in, and on top of the inhale, see if you can sip a little bit more air in. And then pause on top of the inhale, and then open your mouth and exhale. And again, inhale. Pause on top of the inhale. And exhale. And one more breath like this. Excellent. And you can open your eyes when you are ready. I did this because I felt that I needed myself to really connect to my heart and to really drop in the now, but because also my high council has shared with me that when our body is fully relaxed and our mind is being turned down to the minimum, meaning that the mind is not agitated about thinking about all the things, about what we're going to have for food next, or the things that we should be doing, or problems and challenges and things like that. When the mind is really present and simply occupying the space in our head of witnessing what is unfolding, which is simply receiving this transmission or being fully present with this transmission now, it means that it is much easier to receive content that is a little bit out of the ordinary or completely out of the ordinary. So when we start receiving content that is so quantum, so spiritual, so advanced, it is very important to work with relaxation of the body. When your body relaxes and your mind is soft, then it is easier to feel this sensation. It's literally a physical sensation of being opened, being receptive, of saying, yes, I accept, I receive this information because it feels aligned to my soul. And you will feel if it feels aligned, because you literally will feel the connection, like it's like a big yes from your body into receiving in this information. On the contrary, sometimes our body says no, so we feel like we are closing off, and we can simply honor that, because it means that the information is not for us to receive right now. It doesn't mean anything about the quality of the information that you're receiving. It doesn't mean anything about your worth, how intelligent, how advanced you are, what an old soul you are. No, it simply means that there is some frequency mismatch between you and the information present in your field, and that the reform information can simply be set aside. It is also how, for example, I set aside and I don't connect to low vibe information from the news or from people or from matrix system, because that information comes into my field and it does not feel good. I do not feel that there is quantum resonance, because it activates templates of separation, it activates templates of fear. So that information is of low density, and therefore I do not allow that information to come in my field. On the other hand, when I receive information like I'm going to share today, my whole being is like, oh my God, I just love this. There is no resistances. I can literally feel that I want more of this information. And this is about the body of work that I channel and that I share with you in Quantum Wave. This body of work is here to revolutionize our understanding about who we are as multidimensional human beings. And when I can feel my body opening this way, then I can see that my mind is trying to make sense of some of the content that is being shared, because some of the content can feel really complicated. At times it's a little bit like, oh my God, like it does not make sense. And we are trying to rationalize it. We are trying, look, it's my mini coming now. We are trying to really make sense of things that the mind has not heard before. And so, therefore, it is important to always breathe and stay in the body, because if the heart says yes, then it means that this information is aligned. The mind will align, the mind will open up, the mind will relax in its own time, in its own rhythm. Okay? My cat is very agitated today. I wonder why. Okay. So I will do a little graphic here. Because when it comes to understanding the difference between alternate realities and parallel lives, a little graphic, again, can be quite handy. I love using my little board, a little whiteboard. A good way to know that we are multidimensional is to realize that we are multifaceted. I don't know if you have noticed it, but at times you might feel that you are more of an introvert, and you might be predominantly introvert. But then at other times, within the right circumstances, the right people, you might find yourself being really extroverted. Maybe you are someone that prefers sweet things, but at times you really enjoy delicious savory food. Maybe sometimes you want to dress more like a tomboy. Sometimes you want to dress more feminine. Sometimes, there are all of these things about ourselves. Like, we are not just like all or nothing, all of that or none of that. We are multidimensional, we are multifaceted. And the more we understand how to activate greater level of soul alignment, the more we realize that we are more and more and more than we ever thought we were to start with, because we are powerful beyond measure, because we are unlimited, we are multidimensional, we are eternal. Okay, so our soul here is one projection of our oversoul network. So we call oversoul network what other people would call higher self. So we use oversoul network in our terminology. So the oversoul network is really this big, broad, wide, amazingly free, abundant, and enlightened frequency that we are. And so when we leave this earth plane, when we leave this physical body, we go back to our oversoul network. To embody our God self is to embody our oversoul network. Our oversoul network is a projection of God. Okay? So the oversoul network is a unique algorithm, as I call it. So it's just a certain sequence of code. We all have a unique algorithm. So every single human being on the planet has a different algorithm. We all have a unique soul blueprint, completely different. Okay? So we are one projection of our oversoul network. But our oversoul network is so powerful, so multidimensional, that it has also a multitude of projections. And all of these projections, they are projected in different realms, different realities. For example, my oversoul network also has projections on Arcturus, on Sirius, and in the Andromedan star systems. These are the ones that I co-create the most with, okay, that I'm really aware of. I'm aware of other things, but for the purpose of clarity today, I will just talk about these basics. So I, Sandrine, I happen to be the human incarnation of my oversoul network. From this current reality, my human continuously generates parallel lives. So parallel lives are very different from alternate realities, because this is law. This is the quantum, as above, so below, as outside of ourselves, so is within ourselves. So God has many different projections, if you like. One of us is us. We are a unique algorithm of God, and therefore we also project. We become this multidimensional projector that projects through multitude of earth. they share with me that we continuously, with every thought, every word, every action that we emit, we create our parallel lives. And these parallel lives are always, there are always 12 of them. But if you think of the amount of thoughts, of words, and actions that you take during the day, imagine the amount of parallel lives that you connect with. It's insane, right? Now, my Millie is very activated. Maybe she has something to say about parallel lives. Do you know, Millie? Yes, actually. My Millie and my Joey say that for some of us, some of our pets are projections from our oversoul network. So we would say there are alternate realities, but these alternate realities, they exist with us here, on planet Earth, but like she's a completely different algorithm than me, you see. We have the same eye color, we have green eyes, but hers are way more beautiful, my Millie. So when we understand this, it is very important to be able to know ourselves and to understand this architecture using fractal dynamics to be able to continuously shift into the embodiment of our highest reality, of our highest potential. When we reach mastery of enlightenment, full enlightenment, let's say, for example, Ascended Master Hathor or Buddha or Jesus Christ, what happened is that they understood this architecture perfectly. They knew this architecture. So they would collapse timeline and enter 0 point of creation. So the whole of their oversoul network, as well as their own current incarnation, would literally bring alternate realities and parallel lives all together through the conscious awareness. So the whole of the energy of their oversoul network would be gathered in this moment. And it is powerful beyond measure because it means that they can have access to their full unlimited potential. I would love to invite you to drop the idea that if you enter the 0 point of creation and so on, it means that you are killing some of your alternate realities and parallel lives. It does not happen like that. We do not kill ourselves in other realms because we call more of ourselves here. No, it's more like of merging of timeline, merging of realities. It's more like absorbing what we are and really activating it here now. So do not worry about reaching full mastery, meaning that you have to reject other aspects. It's the opposite. It's the integration. It's the bringing everything in the one unified field of this consciousness here and now. Okay, and from like Hathor was doing, from the consciousness that she became so connected to her multidimensionality, she was able to shape shift her physical avatar in whatever form she wanted, like Syrian avatar or human avatar. Okay, so that is the potential that is there for us. But maybe we can just have goals that are more achievable than shape shifting our physical body, because that's for later. That's for another timeline in humanity. At the moment, though, what I would love to invite you to really tune into is the architecture of parallel lives, because it is really fascinating to me. There are always 12 parallel lives interacting, right? So the way we organize them is, for example, so here is the graphic. So if you are listening to this replay on podcast, I will describe. So you have the oversoul network at the top, and there are many different projections. One of us is us. And from us, we have 12 different projections. So we organize them this way for the purpose of clarity, okay? So we would have like 4 projections that would be located in higher level of frequency. So we place them up, more or less located around the head space. Then we have 4 projections that would be of similar frequencies that we are here and now. So we place them around the waist. And then we have 4 projections that are of lower density than what we are now, and we place them around the feet. It is not to say that they are located there, it is just to bring clarity. Okay? So let's say that today is a pretty average day. There is nothing major that happens in terms of like shitty moment or ecstatic moments. I'm pretty much like, I do the same. Then it means that we would stay in the average parallel connections. It means that these ones we have greater access to them, or we project them more, we are more connected to them. Now, if I'm going to have a very challenging altercation or experience with another human, and I'm going to feel like really in my feelings, my human is going to be really triggered, and I'm not going to be able to stay detached as the angel behind my human, as I have explained in episode 1 and episode 2 of Quantum Wave. Then it means that I'm going to really identify with the low experiences, or like the challenging, it's not necessarily low experiences, but challenging, tricky experiences that my human is having right now. And therefore, I'm going to drop my frequency by feeling like a victim of, whatever, or by feeling like I want to attack, like more like an aggressor frequency, really aggressive frequency. And so it means that therefore we really connect with the parallel lives of lower density. If we were to stay, so now let's take the fractal. That's an old drawing that I did. So if we were to stay in the lower fractal, meaning that if we keep on identifying with the trauma and the challenges of our human without being able to detach and say, oh, I am the angel behind my human, it means that we would literally stay stuck into the lower portion of our fractal. We would stay stuck here in the lower quadrant, staying a victim, ruminating, continuing with all of these, mind chit chat about what horrible life we're living, that we always live in scarcity, that we are doomed, and that other people or the government is being horrible to us, and so on. So it means that we stay here. What happens with the actual architecture of your current incarnation is that the parallel lives then that were really low density, they're not going to stay the lowest density, they're going to become your new normal. And this, they're going to become your new normal. So it means that every single day you stay stuck into the lower quadrant of your fractal. So it means that the dynamics, your fractal dynamics, becomes the one of enslaved victim. And of course, as these low parallel lives becomes your new normal, what was your normal becomes your highest frequency. So all of a sudden, the frequency of a fractal goes down. And this is how we go down, 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 down like that. In terms of frequency, in terms of connection to separation templates, forgetting the truth of our divine nature. So really use the fractal dynamic architecture to call yourself and to say, whoa, I'm not going to stay there, because it means that I am anchoring more and more into density. Why is this important to know about parallel lives? It's because parallel lives is very much like the exploration of certain scenarios in our lives that can become a possible future. So a parallel life, it is where our human is experiencing things, therefore we do not have to experience this, but our multidimensional oversoul network still has the data coming from that. It is mind blowing, okay? So it means that, for example, if I was to use drugs or alcohol and I use it once and then I use it more and more and more, and I become a drug addict and an alcoholic. Then it's like my everyday life is like that. So I would be some of the lowest projection on experiencing within the earth realms. My consciousness is connected to that. I am living that. There will be other consciousness that have higher reality than that. It is only that my consciousness stays connected to these realms. I stay in the shadows. I cannot find the light. And so it becomes like the perpetuation of this cycle of really experiencing the projections of us as a multidimensional beings that are the most painful, the most challenging, the most difficult. But within the spectrum of our multidimensionality, there are also projections that have a higher reality. I don't know about you, but that's the one I'm interested to experience. Because for me, I'm here to ascend, to go up, if you like, not to descend, not to go down. So, understanding this, what can we do? When I'm in my feelings, when I'm in my shadows, when I really need healing, when I really need to work with my inner child, my ancestors' timeline, my past life, I do that work consciously. Again, we do not bypass that. It's very important. Because why? From the center point of my fractal, I witness it all with loving awareness, presence, the angel beyond, behind my human. And therefore, what happens is that my human here might be witnessing, oh no, my human is very, very connected to a low parallel lives, where in that low parallel lives, basically, I spend a lot of time on the couch and in my bed, drunk, passed out, because I live in suffering. I can really observe that. Do I want to live there all the time? No. What do I need to do? Loving presence, loving awareness. Where does that come from? Do I need to do really deep work? Do I need to do journeys to go there? Yes, let's do it. But let's not stay there. Let's not think that this is who I am, because this is not who I am. Because I am multidimensional, I am powerful beyond measure, and I do not choose to consciously reside in those realms. Because once you know this, you can never reside there any longer. Because you will always have the itch, you will always have the voice, you will have my voice, Sandrine's voice, saying, you don't want to stay there. You don't want to stay there because this is not what you were born to experience. You were born to experience the truth of your divinity, which is the unified field of welcoming it all to ascend. Because as you witness these here, let's say these parallel lives here below, the ones around the feet, the four lower ones, it can be like one I'm a drug addict, alcoholic. In another one, I'm just simply completely numb. I've given up on life. In another one, I'm suicidal, or in another one, I hate life so much that I decided to hide in the bush and just hate everyone. Whatever. So all of that, when I witness these shadows of mine and I welcome them through my heart center, and I say, it's okay that you exist. I love you anyway. It's okay anyway. If we were to do that, you know what? We would come back to earth and try again. It would not be the end of the world. Even if we stay stuck in those realms, you know what? It's not the end of the world. You will come back and you will try again, and you will try again until you can live completely free from attachment to suffering. So we witness this with loving awareness. What happens? What do you think happened? They shift up. These shadows ascend. And it's not so much that they become a new normal, but it means that we elevate we elevate the density, and they can be transmuted because they become like part of the middle range now. And so they are lovingly witnessed, and all of a sudden the power of love transmute the weight of having those connections. And so as they elevate, they dissolve into something different. They are not the same ones, because when we do this process, we love ourselves unconditionally, so we have no attachment in experiencing these lower realms, these lower lives, and so they no longer exist, they cease to exist. I have dismantled major attachment to low parallel lives throughout my life. Like broken single mom who likes to, use some substances to escape, to feel a bit better. Through bringing this up through my heart center, now when I go into, like kind of what is of lower density, there is nothing really bad there. There's nothing bad because there is nothing that I'm afraid to find. There could be some guilt, some shame about this, about that, but it's all very, very normal, if you like. It's normalized. So it means that the degree of variability within my fractal has increased. So my connection to lower timeline is no longer the same as it used to be, 3, 4, 5 years ago. My lower timeline now, the lowest of the lowest timeline, is still pretty good timeline. There is no timeline in my field where I get, addicted to drug, alcohol, with suicide. It's no longer present. There is absolutely nothing there. My lowest timeline could be like, or maybe I'm broke again, like as I was before. Maybe I'm broke, or maybe like I never find my beloved, my divine union, or something like that. So this is with the connection of the lower parallel lives. Now, if we connect to the higher parallel lives, that's awesome. And awesome because it is where we tap into the power of vision, manifestation. So we can do that by feeling into who we would be in the future. And some of these alternate realities that operate, it is because, for example, I would repeat mantras of the more I travel, the richer I am. My success is inevitable. I'm always on the right path. Every day brings me closer to my beloved. And because I say that and I feel that and I breathe that, these are operating. And because I increase my frequency, I work on my fractal dynamic to vibrate at high level of frequency, it means that I become a match to this future timeline. And therefore they merge and they become a new normal. That is how we create with the power of quantum leaping, of self-transformation. This is what I'm going to talk about during the free 3-day challenge on Let Go and Grow. Okay, because there in this free challenge, we will work more on understanding and refining the frequencies that we work with, like self practices, exercises, mantras, mindset, and also shadow work that we can do to really integrate it all. Okay. So when we understand this architecture of parallel lives, I find that it is absolutely fascinating because we can feel at any time where we are at. And to me, the most important and life changing is always to realize that if we choose love as a guiding force, if we are present as the angel behind our human, we are connected to the highest level of frequency that we are in this moment, and that therefore we are moving into becoming the embodiment of a higher reality, therefore absorbing or merging with higher timelines, higher parallel lives. And we can do that more or less consciously as well, through different quantum techniques. When it comes to alternate realities, this is really awesome to know about that because it means that if you feel that you're connected to star races, for example, excuse me, I'm just gonna turn the heater down because I'm really hot. If you know that you are connected to star races, once you start exploring more of your multidimensionality, then you can see, oh my God, like I really feel that I'm connected with the Palladians. huh, let's go into my oversoul network and feel if I am Palladian. I feel that there is a part of me that's Palladian. Maybe I'm a star seed from the Palladians. Some of us we have heard and we know about this term like star seeds. Like for me, all the humans I meet are near star seed nearly. Why? It's because all of us we have connection. We have connection with the stars. It's because our oversoul network also exists there, also projects there. And it doesn't really matter so much if we were seeded first in the Palladius or Arcturus, because sometimes some people they are first seeded in a star system and they just spend like a few lives there and then they want to try another one and they try another one and that one is like, oh, I want to stay here. I love it. I love it here. I want to stay. And so they end up, staying for like eons in that star system. So what star seed are they really? Are they like the first one or the ones that they're really embraced for a much longer period of time? Some people are on planet Earth for the first time. That's what we would call star seed. Saying that, for example, for me, I have spent like eons on Sirius, like literally like the whole of the evolution of Sirius. Pretty much I was there. Same on Arcturus. I'm also experiencing lots of life with the Andromedans. So it's like, it's just understanding my multidimensionality. We don't need to have a name like I'm a Palladian starseed. It's like you're not just Palladian. Your oversoul network in no way, shape, or form is only projecting there. It is projecting in a multitude of reality. So what they say is that we could say that it's like very much of a perfume. You would distill many different scents, and the dominant scent could be rose, for example. But the rose within the rose perfume, you would also have like a slight hint of geranium, maybe a little bit of another flower, but you are mostly rose. They say that for a lot of people, it's like that. It's like you feel that you're mostly something, but you might also be other things. It's just the amount of data that your oversoul has connected about a realm. So sometimes oversoul network they choose to evolve mainly in one star system, and so therefore all of their projections will be in one star system for a while until they start also projecting in other star systems. So it means that, for example, if it was on Earth, the oversoul network would project through humans, but also through plants and animals. This is why I'm vegan. Another reason, not only because meat is highly toxic and animal products, all of them, dairy, fish meat, all of them are highly toxic, but it is because also they are divine beings, literally. They are divine beings. And if you have pets, you know that. You know that very well. So who are we to say that it's okay to eat the soul of like the body of a cow and not of a dog or a cat? I know Joy. Joy is getting very upset when I talk about this. Digression. So let me know how you receive this. Let me know how you find this. We would love for you today to a vegan here. Yay! Hello, welcome. So we would love for you to really understand that it is absolutely life changing to understand about our multidimensionality. It is so empowering. We can discover so much about ourselves. We can discover more about our gifts, about our time and space travels, about our connection to the stars, and just all of that is so empowering. It's like when you watch an inspiring movie after, you feel like, oh, so inspired for days onwards. But where these movies, they are movies about you, so you don't only see that and hear that, but you feel that in your body so deeply. It's like when I go on quantum journeys like that, when I connect with my, Arcturian self or even with my future self, I do a lot of future self work at the moment. It's like I feel tears running down my cheeks. I feel goosebumps everywhere in my body. After that, I can feel sometimes exhausted because it was like, whoa, I received so much. I need a nap to integrate. But other times I feel elated, exalted, like just so energized. I just want to share that with the world, which is why I'm doing this now, because I love these quantum journeys. I have a lot of quantum journeys pre recorded on my website, by the way. It's in the coded library. In the coded library, there are many star races activations. So there are 5 of them. So you can choose if you want to just get one star race activation, but you can also get the bundle. The bundle, it's like 5 star races. And what happens is that we go through a very specific process. So we feel very grounded, very safe, very protected. And when we move into a quantum space, which is absolutely delicious to know how to create our own quantum space. And then from there, we go to meet Andromedan, Palladians, Syrian Acturians, and Blue Avians. Ooh, one of my favorite things to do, and many of my students love that. So I know that some of you are interested. It's a fantastic way to connect more to some star races. These star races are actively helping humanity right now, and chances are that you have connections with them. Maybe you are not actually a projection from these star races, but maybe there are some of your teachers, some of the beings of the light that help heal you. Maybe all of a sudden you will learn about a star race that you didn't know much about before, and you will go there and feel them and meet them, and it will be really life changing. It is. Every single person that has done this activation always says that it's deeply life changing. So once you get these activations, you have them for life. You can keep on doing them, which is absolutely amazing. And once you know the technique that we teach in the star race activation, you can also go in other star systems that we do not mention, like on Lyra, for example, or Orion and things like that. So a little side note. How do I find which I'm connected to? That's coming from different places. So it could be that you are naturally drawn to a star race. For example, you might stumble upon the Palladians a lot. Maybe Palladians. It's like there is a lot of literature, a lot of videos about them because they are the ones that have been really close to humanity. Palladians and Syrians. So maybe you're just naturally drawn to a star race. So you just want to learn more about that. So you just show an interest. It's like if you're really interested in learning about painting or playing the piano, maybe because you already have some codes that are present in your field about that because you have already unlocked that or developed that in past lives, or that you are doing that in alternate realities. Like maybe in an alternate reality, you are an author. Maybe you are a writer, maybe you are like a musician, maybe you're an artist, and you might have that streak here, but you might not be interested or really keen on developing that. You might not have the time, but yet every now and then you draw or you sing or you write, and like one of your alternate realities doing that all the time. So I am currently co-creating with an alternate reality of mine, which is who's a writer, because I really need to write the book, and I started writing the book. And as my human goes on other tangents, I connect to that alternate reality to really bring it here. So I can be the embodiment of that in this reality as well. So, anyway, to connect, to be able to know who you connected to. So, follow your interest, follow your curiosity, but also do some research. You might go, so it's like you do some research. It's like you go into your meditation and you go into this space and you relax your body, relax your mind, and you can ask your heart. Ask your heart, what I'm connected to, where do I come from, what are the other projections, like who are my spirit guides. So it can come from many different places. You might like to do some of these activations that I have mentioned in my coded library. It's very affordable. So you can purchase like one activation, or you can purchase the bundle. The bundle, I think, like one activation is $39, and then the bundle is only $119. I think, just out of memory like that. So it could be slightly different, but I think it's that price. So it's very affordable. So you could do that. There are also, you could have like one-on-one sessions with me, but at the moment I only have space for the Golden Circle, which is my VIP Elcom tenor. And just keep meditating, keep doing activations, keep doing quantum travels. I work a lot with that, and I talk a lot about that on my YouTube channel. I have already shared a lot about different star races, so you can go, in past videos. All of the ones that I have mentioned are there, so you can discover what is your greatest excitement when you get to know them. And some star rays, for example, the way I work with them is that some of them would be more specialized into healing, into architecture, into quantum technology, psychic development, into co-creating with the earth, co-creating with communities, and so on. But that is just for me, because these star races, they are also multidimensional. So of course, all of them are really advanced psychic and telepath and co-create with their planet, and are amazing at healing and at co-creating with their communities. It's only that they do it differently, and the way I work with them, they teach me differently on different subjects. Okay. So the major thing I would love for you to remember today is that you can have access now to all the information about your multidimensional network. It is present. So all the information that is present in your oversoul network is also present in your physical human body, in your crystalline divine genome. So this is also another reason why I'm vegan, and not only vegan, but I'm mostly like I like to eat a lot of fruits and raw food. I do still have cooked food, especially when it's in winter here in Wellington. It was like, oh. But the more you eat high vibrational food, the more you vibrate at high level of frequency, the easier it is to unlock all the algorithm that is present within you, because you are a light being. So you need to eat food that is alive, that is light, and for that it needs to have enzymes, which is present in fruits and raw food. Okay. All the information present within your oversoul network is also present within you. So you can do meditation to go out and see yourself traveling, which is what I do a lot in the star races activation. But you can also go inside your body and go all the way to your cell, to your DNA, to your atom, and travel in the quantum space there and find out about who you are there. Because as above, so below, as outside of yourself, so is within yourself. Awesome, isn't it? To understand more of your multidimensionality is to really feel this feeling of I am I am so much bigger than I am here. So who am I? And I get to discover that, I am such an old soul. Maybe I'm not an old soul on planet Earth, but if we are to put that in linearity, which is, only on Earth, but it's like I've traveled for eons. So how does that serve us now to know about these things? Detachment. I get a parking ticket. Who cares? That person is being really nasty to me. Chances are that I've been there, I've done that in my past lives, in some of my parallel lives, in my alternate realities. I've already existed in so many places, in so many times. Do I really need to care and put so much of my energy into little things? No, no. I let them go. Why would I bother to use my time, my energy, my mind, my body to be depleted by something of low frequency? Low frequency, I'm not interested. In this reality, I am calling in mastery. Misandrine, I am born into this reality to reach enlightenment and mastery. I know that 100%. I might not get there in this life. Could get there on the next, or the next, on the next. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It feels so much more empowering to me to say that I'm always on the path of mastery. If I choose love as my guiding force, if I choose to be the angel behind my human. So, for example, this week I've been feeling really crappy, not full on sick with the flu, but like really low energy, really stuffy. My glands here in my throat are swollen, very mucusy. Do I care? Do I think it's a problem? Do I think there's something wrong with me? No. My body is purging. This is not a disease to be like this. This is a recalibration. I went through massive upgrades, huge upgrades, downloads, and cosmic surgery during the Lion's Gate for weeks onwards. It was very intense, as it always is for me, you know? So now that my body needs recalibration, great. How can I relax? Let's watch Grey's Anatomy with the kids and eat and drink some cacao and snuggle up on the couch with a hot water bottle. Let make them walk the dog and do the chores. You know, mom can be a little bit, relaxed on the couch. So when we know about all of that, it helps us to feel both really vast, really empowered, really big, but also so focused in the present moment. So focused because when, if our mind consciously moves into all of these places, we're gonna go crazy, you know? So I don't want you to kind of like think about that continuously. After receiving this transmission, during this transmission, it's great to think about that, to feel like that. And during meditation, to specifically connect to an aspect of yourself, maybe a parallel life for healing or for activating future life, quantum leaping, or may it be another stories. Do that with purpose in a sacred container. But for the rest of the time, just drop it. Live in the now, in the present moment. Because when you live fully in the present moment, you collapse all of this in the now. That is the zero point of creation of enlightenment and mastery. That is what all the masters talk about, presence, pure presence, the now moment, detachment, contemplation. That is the zero point of creation where we collapse all timelines and the whole of our energy is present here. So it means that we call the whole of our multidimensional network energy in the present moment. That is the law of complementarity, quantum law of complementarity, which means that we cannot be moving in different places and have full access to our energy. To have full access of our energy, we must be still, but not only physically, also mentally, also in the mind. Mindfulness, meditation, presence, all qualities from the heart like joy, gratitude, all of that. Practice that more, 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 and more. And therefore, what is going to happen is that you are going to increase your level of frequency in your fractal by living happily, joyfully, with gratitude in the now as much as possible, when we don't go into doing the inner work. And because you do that, you actually unlock more of your crystalline divine genome. You open up more of your column of ascension, this pillar of light that connects you to your oversoul network. Therefore, more of you flow through you to activate you. And this is when you're going to embody more and more of your multidimensionality. And the embodiment of your multidimensionality might not come into the awareness of your connection with the stars. And if you're Arcturian, Palladian, no, the activation of your multidimensionality could come from, feeling that you are always living in scarcity and trapped in a world that does not understand you, to all of a sudden feel this feeling of being liberated, being abundant, being deeply connected to yourself in nature, being deeply connected to others. That is what we are looking for. Okay? That is the feeling of connection. Connection is a primal code. I will talk in the next future episodes about primal codes because it's also very, very useful and important to know about the primal codes. When we are fully present in the now, we can work on knowing who we are and expanding our multidimensionality by following our deepest heart desires. And our deepest heart desire might say paint paint because it makes your heart so happy, because when you paint you're in this like mild trance state. So in this mild trance state your body is relaxed, you're in the zone, so it means that your body can regenerate, so you're healthier, you're more relaxed in your mind, there's no stress, no anxiety, so you're healthier. You're also nicer to your partner, you're nicer to your kids, because when you draw, when you paint, when you practice some art, you're just so relaxed that it's like, oh, it's like literally self-care. So this is how we expand our connection to multidimensionality. Okay, this is by living in the now, following our heart's desire, and experiencing more of who we are. And then for all the rest, like we can go in future timelines for manifestation. Again, we do that when we work with meditation, or if we share our vision at our altar or before we sleep, with all of these techniques. We can go into the shadows or lower frequency when we really needed to do some healing, because it doesn't matter, Sandrine, if I try to live with love and light, I just cannot get over this. If you cannot get over something, you're not meant to get over this like that. You're meant to go deep and witness the shadows, witness what is unfolding in there, witness why you are attached to this constant perpetuation of that cycle of suffering. You will understand your multidimensionality like that. And then, if you're curious about your connection to your alternate realities, your connection to your alien self, go there in your meditation, ask your heart. You can also find content on my YouTube channel, as I have shared a lot about star races. But if you really want to do the work to meet them and see your unique connection with them and be able to co create with them, I would love to invite you to visit my website. The Coded Library has all of the star races activations there. Okay? And to understand the art of quantum leaping, of letting go so we can grow, join my free 3-day challenge starting next week, actually already next week on Monday the 28th. On Monday the 28th at 6:30 Pacific, which is Tuesday the 29th if New Zealand in Australia. For 3 days, I will go live, so you will be able to ask me questions, and I will be teaching on the art of letting go of the old to activate a new reality. We will work as well with solar plexus and future self activation in that one, which is very, very exciting. Okay? If you have any questions, I'm just going to have a bit of water. Feel free to type in the chat. Also on the replay, if you watch this on the replay, if you want to share things, if you want to ask me any questions, please let me know and continue participating. So you might be the one that receives a free channeled reading next week. Thank you so much for the little heart. Appreciate this. Thank you so much for joining today. I will see you next week for the live reading. So even if you did not participate, join, because it is really empowering to be able to receive wisdom channeled like that, because often we tap in the field. So yes, we channel for one person, but the messages are, we can often relate to these messages because we're all human, we all like these multidimensional beings in a human suit. So join, it will be fun. Thank you very much and see you next time. Keep shining bright.